This week, the war of the washing powders, how one big brand is fighting the fight. We'll reveal how design schools are collaborating in order to raise standards at school and at tertiary level, and how one tech head says the fight between digital and non-digital brand communication doesn't actually exist. This is Mags on Media, and a very warm welcome. We start with this. Go to any supermarket shelf these days and you'll see washing powders battling for your attention with price and coupon offers, as well as product crowding each other out for valuable space. These are the powder wars. So how is the battle being fought? Well, for a sixth consecutive year, Unilever's Omo products have swept the board at the Product of the Year competition. Let's go to Durban now, and standing by to talk to us is Justin Apsey, who is Vice President Brand Building, Home and Surface Care at Unilever. Justin, a very warm welcome to you. Am I overhyping it when I talk about the washing powder wars?
I guess I've been quoted in the media as saying, is this a war, is this a battle? I think this is a great opportunity. We've got a big competitor coming in and fighting with Unilever with the Ariel launch, but we have other competitors in the market as well, been here for a long time, and I think the great thing is we're seeing manufacturers step up and deliver better innovation for consumers, and consumers getting better value in the market, which is great for us.
Let's talk about innovation in just a moment, but just in terms of consumer behavior when it comes to washing powder, is there loyalty to a brand, or is it simply based at the moment you're in the store on perhaps price or promotion?
That's a good question, and it's something which is probably key for every single category. What we see, obviously, is there are different types of shopping behaviors and different types of shopping trips. But when you start looking at the true brands and the brands that have been around for a long time, consumers do affiliate with them. And you see that now in the interactions in the social media space, where people are saying, this is a brand I believe in, this is a brand that's been with me, this is a brand that I link into. And you're starting to see that as well. You know, our brands in South Africa, funnily enough, ever since the launch and the battle that you could call it, actually are stronger than they've ever been. We get more consumers talking to us, more people saying how much they love what we're doing, and more interaction in the category, which is a fantastic thing.
What do you think defines a washing powder brand? Is it loyalty, as we've referred to? Is it heritage? Is it familiarity? Perhaps a combination of all of those things.
Listen, Jeremy, I think it's a combination of all of those. I don't think a washing powder brand is any different to a cleaning brand or telecommunications brand or anything. I think the challenge which we've got in South Africa and as marketeers is we've got to stand up and provide brands that can add value to the consumer. At the end of the day, a brand is an opportunity to charge a premium for a product that at the end of the day can become a commodity. So a washing powder brand for me, and what defines it, well, is a good solid brand that consumers say, this belongs to me, I'm willing to pay a premium for it, and it's delivering something for me that I see as value for money.
But you've got to be careful just in terms of watching your competitors and price all the time. For instance, Ariel, that you've already referred to, and Mac, for instance, have been dropping their prices, haven't they?
It's difficult for me to say who's dropping prices, and I think you'll get the standard answer, which is the retailers control the pricing in South Africa. At the end of the day, price is a bit of a drug which we need to be careful of. You know, as marketeers, if we start ending up talking about price all the time, well, then we might as well get out of the boardrooms of South Africa and hand it over to the financial managers and supply chain teams. Our job is to focus on the other P's of marketing and making sure that we can grow value in that way, through innovation, through investing in our brands, and making sure that we deliver something which consumers want to buy and want to say that they were affiliated to.
How important, Justin, is that innovation that you referred to a little earlier? You know, the addition of another enzyme, or whatever you want to call it, or some new formula that you're putting into the product. You've got to maintain an edge in that respect, but is that really important in terms of brand development and marketing strategy?
You know, innovation is an interesting space because a lot of people start to say that we're out innovating ourselves and no one's seeing what's going on. You know, we measure in South Africa how many innovations go into the market, and different categories have different levels of need. You know, something like personal care, let me talk about that. 2,000 SKUs into the market in 2012. Unilever only put in about 30 of those. You see, if we actually strip out the growth of that innovation, the market would have declined at 4% if the innovation hadn't gone in. Instead, you saw innovation delivering a 15% growth in that space. And you see that in home care, you see that in personal care, and actually you see it in all parts of different industries. innovation is the lifeblood which keeps them growing.
One is always a little cynical about awards, yet you've scooped this particular category in Product of the Year. Something like this, what does this do for a brand like Omo and ultimately Unilever? Is it important?
Awards are something you've got to be careful on, but I guess what's great to see here is that this is from consumers, and Product of the Year is one award which we've supported as Unilever, and it's not just Omo. We won 13 awards in Unilever, and for the fact for consumers to be choosing us is really, really helpful and really a good kudos to us. But for Omo, 50 years in the market, a big competitor into the market, a big challenge happening, to come out of the year with a stronger brand and winning awards for the innovation we're doing, it's obviously very gratifying.
Justin Apsey, thank you very much indeed. Vice President, Brand Building, Home and Surface Care at Unilever. Appreciate your time in Durban for Mags on Media. Well, let's move now from washing powder to footwear. And the sneaker brand Converse coming up with a unique idea to celebrate the release of their new All-Star collection for 2014. An activation taking place in Europe, the Middle East and Africa challenged street artists with clashing styles to unleash their most visceral work all against a grey wall. The result, as you're about to see, is explosive.
What happens when South Africa's most talented street artists collide with social media as well as Converse Africa's biggest fans and unleash their conversation onto one of the tallest buildings in Johannesburg? Clash Wall is a global campaign that takes fans' colourful suggestions, unleashes them into their city and brings colour to an otherwise grey and boring world. The artists, captained by the world-renowned Rasty, took on the challenge, scaling the 14 floors and using key colours from the Converse Winter 14 collection: red, white and yellow. Through the power of technology, the artists are kept informed via Twitter, monitoring #ClashWall, and in Johannesburg, adding #JHB.
Well, my name's Rusty. I'm a graffiti artist from Johannesburg in South Africa, and we've just been involved with the great Converse Clash War project. The biggest challenges were probably, first of all, the size. I mean, it's about 53 meters high, 14 stories, and a total of about 600 square meters. When you look at it in the photo, when we're not in it, you don't get an idea of the actual scale of it. But just for an example, I mean, like the panda bear over there is probably a good 6 to 8 meters high, so we fit, as a person, you fit into that about 3-4 times. So when you look at it from here, it looks big, but you can't really quite tell. And once we were up there and right next to it, we suddenly got an idea of how big it is.
"31 hours and more than 600 square meters later, Rasty and his crew concluded the world's most impressive, democratic, collaborative clash wall."
Coming up on Mags on Media, re-establishing design as a feasible career option for youngsters. We'll also go behind the scenes on a new ad for the Liberty Group.
News that moves. ENCA.com.